Okay, today we're going to be discussing how to add a user into the system. This time around we're not going to be referring to members, we're going to be referring to adding employees and administrators into the system. You're going to use that same familiar add user form that we used when we did enter a member in, which can be accessed right here off of our quick links, or you can go into functions, scroll down to users, and select add user. It's going to take us to this familiar data entry form that we used when we were signing up members. The only difference is you're going to need to select either an administrator or an employee when you get to this screen. So the difference between an administrator and an employee is that when you're adding an administrator in here, the purpose of that is to give the employee username and access codes so that they can get into the system to either view or change financial reports, or use the scheduling features, or the point of sale screen, or to sign up members. They'll have to have access codes set up and have to be identified by the system as an administrator in order to sign in. Now you're also going to want to enter these administrators in as employees so that you can calculate their base pay for vacation time, for sick time, and for their hourly payroll. So I'm going to start off first with an administrator. You'll notice it's going to bring up a much more simplified view for me. We're just going to have to put in their first name, their last name, their gender. These top four are the only ones required to proceed, but if you want to put in the address or contact information, that could also be helpful. If you put in an email address, it's going to really help out your administrators, because if they forget their password, they can send in and click on forgot password on that front screen, and it will send their password to their email address. But if you don't have an email on file, then it's going to be a little bit harder to do this. So the purpose of having the first and last name on here, when they sign on to the system, the first time they sign on as an administrator, they're going to type in their last name, hyphen their first name, and their last name as the password. Once they've signed on for the first time, then it's going to prompt them to change their password to be something a little bit more secure. And once you've filled out that information, you can just go ahead and click on Save. Now, adding an employee into the system is very similar to administrator. It's just a little bit more detailed when it comes to, it shows your pay rate information. So you can put in the same first last name with their gender. If you wanted to select a department, you can add departments in here. Once again, you've got an area to put in their contact information and their address, as well as emails. And then pay rate information, you're going to want to put in their normal rate, so what their hourly rate would be, their holiday rate for days that they're working, Christmas, New Year's, Christmas Eve, Thanksgiving. Vacation rate, days that if they have 2 weeks of vacation, how much are they getting paid for those days that they're off. And then their sick rate. So you can use this to, it will build your payroll for you based off of the hours that they clock in and then they clock out. And then you would just save this when you're finished. If you have any questions about adding an employee or an administrator into the system, please contact our support department, or you can submit a support ticket and we would be more than happy to walk you through this process. Thank you.